Oh, hey guys. I guess it is that time. It is time for the monthly market update, and it's 2024. Man, the year 23 really flew by, and got a lot to be thankful for. A lot happened. We're looking forward to this year. And today we've got a couple extra special guests. We've got Jeff Krantz and Jason Whittle, broker owners of RE/MAX Lake of the Ozarks. We're going to talk a little shop, as always, real estate numbers, what we're seeing or what we think we'll be seeing here in 2024. All that and more on this month's edition, brought to you by MHQ, Mortgage Headquarters, fastest closings in town. And we are back again with Jeff Krantz and Jason Whittle, broker owners of RE/MAX Lake of the Ozarks. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Hey,
Yeah.
Jess, we're excited.
Yeah.
Super pumped. You are a brave soul to let us be on here.
Everybody always says that. They're super excited. Then they see the cameras. They're like, oh, God, what am I going to say?
Yeah, a little urine went down my leg. But...
We'll wipe that up later.
Okay,
it's fine. Oh, golly. So you two are both broker owners here at RE/MAX Lake of the Ozarks, and lucky us for having you guys. So,
Yeah.
Right.
So how'd you guys get into this? Tell us a little bit about that.
Oh my gosh, try real estate, right?
Yeah.
Try real estate. I couldn't find what I wanted to do, and so I did. I tried real estate. I think because of this market, because I grew up here, I've always loved the lake. Real estate just seemed to fit. I love it.
Yeah. Kind of totally different with me. I got my license just to kind of do investment stuff, and then started going down that path and word of mouth. I just started to realize I had a passion for helping people find and sell their homes, and started my own brokerage with having no knowledge. It was awful. Had no idea what I was doing. I was losing my mind. We were growing, but despite me, and in 2015, Frank Christensen, who started RE/MAX Lake of the Ozarks, approached us, and he was going to retire and introduced me to Jeff. And even though he introduced me to Jeff, we still decided to become partners. It has been awesome. So we've been here since 2015, which is quickly becoming a dinosaur as well. I can't believe it's been over 8 years now since we joined. And it's just crazy how fast. It's such a blessing. We get to work with the best people in the business. It's not work. We get to come in and get to do stuff like this, which is amazing.
Keeps you on your toes.
Well, and as we dive in, I know the viewers, they want to hear about the numbers, and everybody wants to know what's the real estate market doing? What's it going to do? So looking back, as we look back, not only at 2023, it's been a crazy, 3 or 4 years now? Because I know when COVID hit, it's like an oh shit, this is it. Market's going to tank. It's going to be another 2008, and that was not the case. So
that's the deal. The market's always changing.
Right.
It's never not changing.
No.
And the challenge is now, what do you believe? Because there's always something. There's always some kind of headline or some kind of statement or something emphasized out there, and it is very rarely the true picture.
Yeah.
So I love breaking it down.
And the honest, who could have seen that there was going to be a worldwide pandemic? If nobody saw that, and nobody, I don't think, predicted what that would do to our market. But the reality is that our market was set to be strong even without that. Mm-hmm. Probably not at the same level of capacity that we saw, people moving in and that level, that for sure increased it, but we were set to be strong anyway. We were seeing that trend move up. We were still lagging in what our values were. So we were set to have some pretty good years anyway. And then to throw the pandemic on, we become nationally known because, hey, you got pools open and people are able to work remotely, and and we're a tremendous value when you compare us to other lakes around the country. All those things factor into just kind of the perfect storm, and we're still seeing that. Obviously, transactions are way down, but we're still in a really great real estate market. And
we really are. We're outpacing, I know, nationally, our average prices. Price per square foot has gone up for our sellers, and we're definitely outpacing that here at little old Lake of the Ozarks. So.
Yeah, it's crazy. You see the headlines. Everybody loves headlines. Everybody loves these headlines. It's like foreclosures up 150%. Well, yeah, that's true. They went from 0.7% to 1.5, which in a normal market is just over 3. And so you always have to go deeper than the headlines and actually look at what's being told.
I would agree there. I think back about, I may not have sold quite 30 years, but I've been selling a fair amount of time. And just thinking back over all the years, each year was a different story. Oh, I'm not going to buy, prices are going to go down. Oh, I'm not going to buy foreclosures. There's going to be a round for, and whatever the year, whatever the headline was, that the media and the news was using, if you would have bought just 10 years ago, what would your investment be right now on the water?
On the water, you're at over 140%. Almost 150% increase, almost 15% a year, which is, it's not a bad investment, a little better than the stock market.
Exactly. Don't wait for tomorrow to come, and you turn around and it's 100 years from now and you've never jumped in, you've never bought that lake house. Do it now. In 10 years, you'll thank yourself that you pulled the trigger and that you didn't listen to that news headline, whatever it is. So
I feel like
that's
the majority.
my 2 cents.
Yeah, I feel like the majority of people have already adjusted. I don't think it took long.
Yeah.
And I don't, they had to change things. They had to slow the inflation. They had to, and it didn't work as quickly as they have wanted it to. So obviously that's why we're still sitting with the rates that we are, and we'll probably be with them for some time yet. But I feel like the consumers, we don't see a lot of kickback. I mean, what is the average rate over the last 30 years?
It's right at where we're at.
Yeah,
Right.
it's right where we are.
And I mean, there's so many factors. We're a want, not a need. Boomers have now become the number one home buyer again.
Back again,
for the first time in 3 years, 4 years?
3 or 4 years, yeah.
Half of boomers are cash buyers. Our cash transactions nationally have increased tremendously here at the lake. They're way up. I mean, we're a want, not a need area. And that, and then the like you said, we were poised for a positive market for a long period of time. Before we started this, we were talking about inventory, and inventory is something that consumers, our buyers and sellers, don't readily see the active standing inventory at any given time like we do.
Yeah.
We watch it all the time, and it's such an important part of this whole deal. You pick out 2000 to 2010. In that period of time, we were carrying inventories, condominiums, for instance. Condominiums, there were a low of maybe 12 or 1,300 to a high of 2,000 in that period of time. At any given time, you click active, there's that many. Single-family lakefront homes, how many?
Same thing, almost identical.
So that's
off-water homes even bigger than that.
Yeah.
Right, for that period of time, that inventory existed at Lake of the Ozarks. And then every year after that, starting in about 2010, that inventory started declining. Little bits at first. It's gotten to the point, every year it declined, and every year from our bottom, the transactions have increased. Well,
That can only happen for a while.
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
And so that helps support what we keep calling out as far as pricing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that hit that fear button real quickly.
Well, you see the headlines and it says, well, real estate is down 18% at Lake of the Ozarks, which is true. Transactions are down. It just depends on which part of the real estate you're talking about. Transactions are down 18%, which affects real estate agents because you're not selling as many homes, but it doesn't affect buyers and sellers tremendously at all. What they care about is average price.
Correct.
And our average price on lakefronts up 6%. Off-water homes up, is it 9? Or 11,
I
no,
think
off-water.
It's 11.
Yeah, it's 11.
Off-water is up 11. And so you compare that with the national average, which I think is like 3.4%.
Yeah.
And so nationally, they're up 3.4. Off-water homes at Lake of the Ozarks is up 11%.
That blows me away. I really was confused.
I was too. I was completely blown away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And you look at the inventory.
That's where I was
transactions are
going.
down
Yep.
26%.
Well, and
Transactions
that's- yeah.
down 26%, but prices are up 11. I mean, that's a really good thing for consumers, especially if you're selling. But even if you're buying, it just continues to be a great long-term investment. It's that old saying, they're not making any more dirt.
Nope. They're
And
not.
Lake of the Ozarks they're for sure not making any more here.
Yep, I would agree there. And it's not just on the water, it's globally. There's only so much shoreline we're not going to get an extra 100 miles next year. I can tell you that.
But when you look at your, those, like, if there were, for that period of time, let's just say there were 1,500 lakefront homes on the market.
Yeah.
Right now, lakefront, the entire lake, there's 186
Wow.
active lakefront homes.
That's crazy. I know. I remember, a buyer would call in, and I'd have pages of things to go through for them to look at. And again, for our sellers, prices are increasing. For the buyers, yeah, you feel like you're buying it high, but what does that do for you? When you want to go return in 5 or 10 years from now, your price is going to be up too. So you can't be afraid to jump in the market, again, just because that headline says so. You've got to jump in, you've got to purchase, have some fun, make a little money on it, and talk to one of us, talk to one of our agents, and really understand what those headlines are saying and what real estate is actually doing, what it's done, and what we're predicting that it's going to do. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah. Real estate here at Lake of the Ozarks still is a tremendous value. You compare us to other lakes and what you get and what you get to pay. I mean, there's not a lake that's like it. It's just we're really blessed to live here and work here and play here. So.
I would agree.
We don't want to be bullish. I mean, we don't want to.
We don't have rose-colored glasses.
We don't want to have rose-colored glasses, but when you take in consideration the tightening of lending a little bit, I mean, that's tightened down. That affects your new home starts and the people that are going to get out there and take on new development. When you talk about the interest rates, I mean, the interest rates are, for anyone that has a 2 to a 4% interest rate, they're not as likely to sell today as they were prior. So they're going to hang on to that. The fact that the investment's been so strong, that's not going to help. So, I mean, I keep harping on inventory, but the reason we, not only are we in a great market and a want, not a need, but we don't really see that inventory changing. And back to your point, that's why if they jump today, they get into it today, if they've always been wanting to, make your decision to do it, because all the indicators they don't point to anything but continued appreciation and good investment with that.
If you value where you spend your time, I don't feel like there's any better investment than here at Lake of the Ozarks. I mean, it's just a great investment. So
I would definitely agree there. Well, how about we wrap up maybe with a fun little question.
Uh-oh.
Oh yeah.
Fun little question.
Here we go.
Good one. How about this? How about in the past few years, if you look back, do you have one moment or one transaction or something that really sticks out in your mind as just being exceptional or above and beyond or something special to you?
Oh, wow. Don't speak at once, Jeff.
Wow. All at once.
Tell us about all the homes you've sold, Jeff.
Yeah, right. Seriously, I have a lot of amazing stories involving our agents. I don't have a lot of amazing stories involving buyers or sellers because they don't hardly allow me to show property to the extent, I'll just throw you under the bus.
Yeah, that's fine, because we're in the same boat.
To the extent that we had a meeting scheduled after hours the other night at a property, specifically had certain things to go over. It was actually fairly important.
Yes.
I drive out there, I'm a little bit early, pull up, talking on the phone. Here he comes, he swings in, pulls up, he's talking on the phone. We get out, we're both talking on the phone, we get off the phone, and it dawns on me, it hits me. And I look at him and I'm like, do you have a lockbox?
A lockbox key?
He goes, lockbox? We need a lockbox? I said, I don't have a lockbox. He said, I don't have one either. This is like,
I don't know how we're going to get into this
This is like
place.
20 miles away.
My gosh.
Yeah, that's us.
Wow.
That's the world we live in. So, unfortunately,
That's awesome.
we used to love working that part, but our world now is, our joys really come from seeing our agents succeed or having awesome stories that you're talking about. And we get to see that a lot. We get to hear a lot of those.
There's been a lot to learn.
Well, again, thank you guys so much. Viewers, I hope that you guys learned a little bit and just a few tips and tricks for the 2024 year. I know each year I'm excited for the new year. It's a great time to reflect on the past year and the past few years, but again, I think 2024 is going to be great. And we'll only continue to see great things here at the lake. Thank you guys so much. So I know y'all are busy, and thank you all for tuning in. And can't wait to see you next month on the Monthly Market Update. As always, I'm Jessica Bruce and Kelly Real Estate Team. Till next time.
you.